we got two more games on the chopping block. First one is going to be BTG versus TeamNut. First place against last place. David versus Goliath. Tetcher, what are your thoughts when thinking about this very unique matchup?
Well, for starters, like you said, first place versus last place. TeamNut have nothing to lose. They were also, however, the very first team to take a map off of BTG in the first rotation. As such, their score was 1-1 the last time these teams faced each other. I want to just see TeamNut just come out swinging. I want to see a TeamNut 2-0. Because, like I said, this will not affect the standings. BTG's going to BlizzCon. I want this to be a BTG victory lap, and I want that lap to be full of hurdles that they are falling over consistently.
So you're basically suggesting that they should put on those weights on their hands, on their feet, on their ankles with 10 times the normal weight. So they're fighting with those like Super Saiyan mode just to get stronger for BlizzCon.
Solid DBZ reference there, friend. But yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Fighting in the gravity chamber. There we go.
That's a good one. Yeah, exactly. The weights was a good one. Although I do like that they went from, that's fine, I'm fighting with 100 kilos to, I'm going to fight at 100 times the Earth's normal gravity. Come at me. As we see BTG on the left-hand side here. They had a little shaky middle of the season, but overall, they are the strongest team in HGC China to date, sorry, at least to, this season. And here we have TeamNut, technically the weakest, but they've put on some fantastic series, and I am so proud to see how much they've grown.
If you compare this year's or this phase's TeamNut to last phase's TeamNut, they have grown exponentially. I remember those last couple of games, last phase, when TeamNut all of a sudden, you know, had roster issues. They had Seven Milk himself step onto the stage, and they played Lucio. They played all sorts of nonsense, and it didn't even look pretty. This TeamNut is still losing, but they look pretty doing so.
Yeah, they're looking significantly better as a team. So as such, I am excited to see if they can stick around or whether they will get taken down in the Crucible, or maybe they can avoid the Crucible altogether and make a solid run through the playoffs. And the way to start that right now would be to take down BTG here to gain a little bit of momentum heading into next week.
Also, let me give a shout out to the consistency of TeamNut, always showing up in their jerseys. Every now and then in HGC China, we'll see one person in a team stepping out of the concept, you know, and be like, I'm just going to wear my own stuff today. But not these guys. They're always showing up nicely dressed. Both players here, compared, have Hanzo, are Hanzo mains. No shame in that.
Yeah, this is completely fair, but you can see ranking significantly different. Dancing sitting at KDA score number 2, and Mercy with under half his score, sitting at a KDA of literally just under half his score, but sitting at a KDA of 29th in terms of positioning.
In terms of individual skill, though, I wouldn't actually say that Mercy is half the skill of dancing, because Mercy certainly has had his moments, and I'm pretty sure that if he played in a different team, let's say if he were to play with RPG, maybe the A team, I'm pretty sure he could actually, you know, develop into a really, really nice carry. But sometimes, you know, your teammates hold you back, and that is certainly the case for Mercy here in TeamNut. But let's not talk down on the Nuts here. They were one of the few teams that were able in the past to take a map of BTG, something not every team in the league can claim.
Exactly. In fact, there are a couple of teams who weren't able to do it the entire season. For now, though, we have the Maiev banned out, Diablo just rushing straight through these, no chill on the bans at all. Like, you see the Genji banned by TeamNut, they just refuse to seem to let the other teams ban it out for them. Oh no, they do ban out the Dahaka coming in here, so BTG will almost certainly ban out the Genji now.
Do we take a look at some of the facial expressions of TeamNut? There's no smiles. There is nothing that hints towards the fact that they are trying to troll this. A little bit upset about that ETC ban, though. But Genji makes it through. That is already...
Genji.
Look at dancing. He's dancing on the bottom left. He's having a good time.
He's happy. He's going to BlizzCon and BTG. What did I say about a victory lap? They start off with the Abatha and the Tyrael. This is the first Genji for TeamNut the entire season.
Yeah.
And, of course, the Abatha Tyrael That is not the most usual either. They've never, BTG, this iteration of it, it's their first Abathur coming in this season. Their second Tyrael, they have a 100% win rate with that. Illidan stolen, I kind of like that. That's quite funny.
All right, Illidan, the point of contention here. This game is going so fast. I'm loving it. If all the games had a pace like that. But yeah, so far BTG is walking in the footsteps of RPG, right? With that Abathur Tyrael. We've seen it before in Towers of Doom. It didn't really work out that well. And Samuro, the Monkey King, returns to China.
They have, I don't believe, ever played Samuro this phase.
We haven't seen a single Samuro, nope.
No, we have not. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier in that list. We have seen Medivh's, and at least one of them was from beyond the game. And there's a Sylvanas. Both these teams know what this is about. Bringing it in, and a Chen for good measure. Once again, this does not matter to the seedings at all. We have the no support Abathur Medivh comp versus the hyper aggressive Sylvanas comp with Illidan and Genji coming in here. And this is going to be savage one way or the other, or it's going to be an absolute slogfest, and we're going to be here for hours.
Everyone get in here, because bring your friends. I mean, we're going to watch Samuro unleashed in a no-support style, going full Granite Gaming there for a moment, basically. We've seen this before. No support Abathur, or solo support Abathur Samuro. But get all your friends and family members in here. Everyone who's interested in Heroes of the Storm needs to watch this. China is unleashed.
Yep, the second the shackles of having to try hard are off, they decide to do something entertaining. Let's get us in. Let's get going. And BTG, our first China BlizzCon representative, they are just going to try and show us how to play a supportless comp take notes method. And then we have TeamNut looking to follow in the shoes of Dignitas, who won with that Sylvanas last weekend.
All right, this game is going to be glorious in one way or the other. Slightly better draft, I would say, goes to TeamNut, but the entertainment factor, look at this glorious band of heroes, Medivh, Samuro, solo support Abathur. Will individual class of BTG reign supreme, or is that draft too much? And even TeamNut will be able to reign supreme here. Let's see. Left-hand side, BTG with 619, LLK, Druid, Dancing, and Loktar.
And on the right, TeamNut with Mercy, Atui, Malthael, Nightmare, and Dia.
All right, Tetcher, there she is. There is your favorite character. There is the Sylvanas. Yeah. How happy are you?
I am very happy, but I don't think she's going to live very long, because look at that composition. So far, not even picking the level 1 talent. This should end up being the Merc Queen, as this is the most standard level 1 talent. And on this map, the double Siege Giant bot lane is just an end game condition. And BTG are going to start with the first tower. They're going to let Chen tank the shots, while Samuro starts battering away at the tower.
Yeah, look at the shields, though, coming in from Tyrael, coming in from, Medivh as well. And we mentioned Abathur being kind of the solo support here. Well, that's not entirely true, Tetcher. We do have some shielding and some protecting coming in from other heroes as well. They're all designed to empower and enable the Samuro as their hard carry.
Is this the ANZ game suddenly? Because right now, Abathur has... I love this. Look at this. Abathur, he was soaking bot lane, realized Sylph was going to keep pushing it, and rotated to mid to body soak. So now he's there, but Illidan's rotated as well, because Illidan had the same idea. So Abathur actually has to move back and will lose his body soak, at least temporarily, meaning TeamNut will take the early XP advantage. They're right next to the Mercs too, so we're going to be seeing some Merc Queen Siege Giants. Dia, please. He wants that. He wants Abathur, but Dancing is having none of it.
Yeah, Dancing is trying to defend at least a little bit of that structural health here. Doesn't really do the best job here. There's only so much one Abathur can do. Needs to be super careful also not to get into the reach of the Illidan. Yeah. It looks like both teams are just, going this side split pushing path until the bitter end, it seems. But guess what, Tetcher? The team of Sylvanas normally comes out on top of that. Look at that giant minion wave and the mercenaries on top of it as well.
They're pulling back. They know they can't win this if it was just a straight up race. Even Samuro cannot outrace that until level 10, where they have the copy of the Samuro. Malthael pulling back with the Haunting Wave as the dive comes in. Nightmare dropping low. Atui needs someone to dash to. No one is here, though. Drops the closest possible Earth ally. Nightmare will die too. Malthael's just throwing in a couple daggers. He's gone for the cooldown reduction, so that's going to give him great damage against the Samuro. In the meantime, the Siege Giants rain down the pain.
Nightmare continues his dream. He walks back into the enemy team's base, tries to stay survived. That was not really that smart. The key was actually distracted, but I think at some point you want to die. Chen also hunted down the Illidan. So BTG, after losing structures, were able to collect some kills after all.
Abathur should... Okay, he tunneled out. I was about to say, Karazim, if he got wind of him, he would have just dashed straight into him and killed him. So the front wall... Oh, dancing. Actually dancing. This is great, as we do see both lanes are cleaned up. In the top lane, the towers survive. So as such, TeamNut holding a lead in this game. Even with the kills, their XP advantage holds strong.
Well, now we know how Dancing acquired his nickname. Back in the days, he used to be the top memer of Chinese Hero League.
Now we see everyone's actually calming down for a bit. ANZ proving they're better than us once again, because their game would have ended right now if we were in that region. Yeah. As we also see the Shuriken Mastery coming in for the Genji. Needs some single target damage. Can they get it? Where's the Stormbolt? Where's the Stormbolt? Don't need it. They just wreck him. Now they have Mercenaries on the way. Round 2 for this keep.
Yeah, Sylvanas takes one hit, but then deactivates, of course, that keep with her auto attacks. Keep in mind that the abilities no longer work on it. You can no longer AoE deactivate buildings anymore.
They're going to back up again. Samuro arrives. It looks like actually they're going to use the mini-wave. Duked indeed. The keep will fall here thanks to Atui and Mercy. But losing Sylvanas and probably Atui as well, that is going to... Oh, hang on. Atui, he's on the run. Nightmare might be the one to pull... Oh,
Flashy Pants.
Mercy. Never mind.
Yeah, that with the portal and the familiar, of course, the Raven familiar providing additional attack damage and attack slows. It looked fancy for a moment, but Medivh decided that it was time to stop this madness. Nightmare has yet to survive. He continues to die in that onslaught, but look at all that commotion being created here. Illidan in the top lane, soaking up that tempo.
That mule, that's so clutch here right now. That is gonna actually be super good, as that will heal up the structures. Unfortunately, the keep did die. This is why TeamNut overcommitted and died. They are still somehow, it's 6 kills to 1, and TeamNut are ahead in experience.
If you just play the map, that's all you need to do, and I'm pretty sure Illidan is going to go for that hunt, so they have a little bit of global pressure there as well. Abathur continues to do what he does best. He's living the slug life to the fullest, slapping minions and getting in point-blank melee range.
Yeah, but like you said, second that hunt comes online, Abathur can't do this anymore. He's being as cheeky as he can while he can, but with level 10 on the way, yeah, it's just a really bad idea.
All right, let's actually take a look at some of the talents here as well. Samuro did go for the Way of the Wind, going for a very Windwalk heavy build here actually. Movement speed is increased. That's pretty cool to see. And then at level 4, 1 with the Wind. As long as Samuro has Windwalk active, and 3 seconds after it, both he and his mirror images gain 30 armor, so he becomes pretty tanky.
Chill in the mid lane, Nightmare just hovers around, throws out a Stormbolt, gonna build some stacks. This game is very interesting. It's moments of calm followed by moments of absolute action, followed by more moments of calm again. As we see, and we're only 5 minutes in. As we do see level 10 now locked in for TeamNut very shortly before BTG. 7-sided, the Hunt, Wailing Arrow, the Avatar, and the X-Strike. On the other side, that is a Blade Storm.
Awesome.
Polybomb, Ultimate Evo.
Has to be a Judgment.
If it isn't Judgment, yeah, I will be very surprised.
All right, playing a couple of mind games here, Tyrael, that is, but already the Whirlwind coming in. That is bringing back my Warcraft 3 nostalgia. Blade Masters, of course, did have access to that ability there as well. At level 6, it was a tad little bit better than in Heroes of a Storm. It made them invulnerable, actually. Sometimes Samuros in Heroes of a Storm think they're invulnerable, but they can still take damage. It's only unstoppable, bro.
Very true. Abathur decides to move under keep, but that means catapults are actually starting to attack the core. How? Dante's going to move into position to defend this, but the second they see anyone has ported back, this boss is going to start being attacked. But so far, no one's porting back, and they're just relying on Abathur mines. Very sensible.
All right. Tyrael still hasn't really figured out what he wants to do at level 10. We see the symbiote and the copy potential on a Samuro. Like, Samuro has to be the copy target. He's so lethal, so scary with that bonus attack damage.
Dia's been wrapping around from behind, now is pushing in mid lane. Looks like they might just rush a keep again, because they can. Illidan's already doing good damage, Sylvanas in position. Everyone else here to stop the rotation. I like this. Druid's rotating around. I just realized it's Druid on the Tyrael. But I guess if you have no healer, then I guess that's close enough.
Yep. At this point, BTG is like, stop that running and kiting already. We want to team fight you here right now. But TeamNut, they're having none of it. They're too elusive, too slippery. They're running away yet again and walk away with a structural lead.
They're looking solid. BTG. Oh my, they look for Chen, but the Earthstorm Fire comes out. Sylvanas comes in with a big AoE charge.
Over the wall.
The other side of the wall, suddenly Druid is all alone. But Malthael still goes down, and Druid is no longer alone. X-Strike and Blade Storm both being used on either side. Loktar sneaks away into the mist, but Dia is still relentless. Where's your CC? Polybomb him, Medivh. Get him! As they finish him off without using the Polybomb.
Yeah, one shield is enough to keep Samuro in the fight, and thanks to his strong auto attack damage, he was able to take down the Illidan. However, structural lead is still in favor of TeamNut here. Look at that clutch dodge there as well with the Storm, Earth, and Fire. Then came to chase Sylvanas. A little bit too far in. Unfortunate timing with that Judgment. Great follow-up over the wall here, and now it is TeamNut in full retreat.
Well, TeamNut on the live camera, though, are contesting the boss, trying to actually fight over this. Everyone is coming in, but all that's really resulted in is a dead Nightmare. Portal being used, Ravens all over the shop. Nightmare's going to get taken down. Dia decides now's probably a good time to engage after my tank died.
LLK in trouble, gets killed. Resets are coming in.
Oh, Atsui! Oh my god, he just destroyed him. Tyrael Explosion's about to do nothing to deflect pretty good ability, and Loktar sneaking away. They know he's here, but they're trying to chase him. Medivh finds him. Which one's the real Samuro? Doesn't matter, they all kill you, as Mercy has to run away.
Everybody's on the quest to find the Monkey King and take him out, but Samuro is too smart. Actually turns it around almost there. The boss is hammering down onto that bottom fort as well.
Double catapults, though, will clear that up. Another Siege Giant camp picked up. In fact, 2 Siege Giant camps can be picked up by TeamNut. That's exactly what's going to happen. While Illidan heads to top lane. He's going to go and shut down that Abathur hatch split push.
All right, Mercenary camp has been taken. And as you said, Tetra, now comes the period of calm. You know, of calmness and tranquility. Both teams taking a breather, trying to regain their strength and prepare for the next round of the brawl here. I don't really know what that Abathur build is all supposed to do. Goes for the Locust right now. I think that is the ranged attack once again.
Yeah, pretty sure that's Bombard Strain, but I will double check for you.
No, it is. It is. If it's a 13, then it is.
Marvelous. So now then,
and we see for Samuro, we see a very cool talent at level 13. It is Shukaji, which means that Samuro now has access to a short distance teleport whenever he enters Windwalk. Very much appreciated as a disengage, but also as a chasing tool.
Yeah, it's a lovely talent. It always gets value, can make some crazy plays here. See how well he does with that. Sylvanas and Illidan both dive onto that fort. They don't kill the mule, they let the mule expire. And look at this once again. Mercy and Atsui zone away, but they see that the enemy team is not currently moving to top. They're trying to kill Nightmare, who's popped the Avatar, staying alive. That was a good healing static. Turns out, healing static is really good when you have 7 heroes on the board.
Absolutely true, and guess what else is pretty good? That Earth ally, it diminished so much of the damage of those Samuro mirror images and the Samuro itself. Now Sylvanas, she is the blue team's most wanted. Blue team standing for the Alliance, question mark, take that war chief down!
Wailing arrow, they turn it round, they look for the... Oh, the Medivh is super dead. Oh my god, Illidan's escaping as well! He's so low, there we go, he gets smitten. And as such, TeamNut begin to pull down to the bot lane. Illidan wishes he was alive because the slug just for a second showed himself in bot lane.
Yep.
As TeamNut, they're looking to try and grab that temple as that Bruiser camp continues to push top. Oh, that's just sad.
Yeah, Medivh is set to 0 again, and I love the fact that you brought up the Abathur, you know? The point in time in which Illidan is dead, he is like, well, Illidan's dead, time to slap. And he goes immediately back into melee range, tries to, you know, add his own little fisting to the wave clearing. So, yeah. Let's see how these tiny little Abathur hands are going to work out there.
Shots already coming in. The entire team grouped up in top lane. They're trying to take down the second keep of the game. Nightmare drops a stun, and he should be able to escape. There we go. That also gives Malthael time to not double teleport. Doesn't use the second one. That's a risky move.
It is a risky move indeed. I mean, it's all fun, right? It's all crazy and wonkiness, but you still cannot just sneeze at what BTG has here. The heroes they have are so strong in a team fight scenario here, especially Tyrael. If he finds that golden lockdown window, you know, with a judgment, and you find someone like Sylvanas and she uses her haunting wave a little too early, it might all of a sudden be lights out. But TeamNut, on the flip side, they too have their own strong team fighting tools. Illidan, though, looks like the rest of his team is facing towards him because it looks like Beyond the Game is trying to make something happen.
But this is all a distraction because Genji's back in top lane.
I mean,
Karazim will almost certainly die here. Oh, yeah, he's dead as he's getting chased down. A Tui will drop, but this is all a distraction while Genji takes down the keep. Sylvanas kills off mid, double temple on the core. Sylvanas isn't strong enough to actually do this alone. D has finally been forced off the point by Samuro. He is being chased down and he does not have Unbound, so he will die.
Dia is still alive and kicking, but down he goes. Chen is leaping on towards him. Now, Tetra, Beyond the Game, they're running out of structures. They're trying to constantly, you know, keep TeamNut involved in team fights. That is the only way they can hope to acquire a victory here, because if they let that temple phase go through once again, I think it might already be lights out. The core is taking damage. Abathur trying to distract those catapults. The mule is working double time as well to bring back that core health.
There's so many catapults, though. TeamNut just pull back into base, wait for their heroes to come back alive again, and they're just playing the waiting game right now. On the bright side, Mule has healed up the core.
All right, the boss is going to be a big asset to BTG to keep TeamNut at bay. However, that backdooring opportunity is always there when you have Karazim, Illidan, and Genji in your team. Those heroes can deal so much auto attack and ability damage onto the core and melt it down in no time. I think at level 17 it's actually safe to say that Illidan could solo the core if need be.
He could if he wanted to try. But everyone be very quiet.
All right, it is an Abathur though. Here comes the backdooring attempt. Only Dancing sees it coming. The mule is still there.
Hunt the mule! Hunt the mule! Oh, they just killed the mule. Illidan comes in, whee, to a minion, and that's game. TeamNut take game number 1. There is absolutely nothing that
they kill one. Abathur shields on the core. Where are the shields?
I was very nearly over ambitious there, but that is game number 1 going over to TeamNut.
Looks like that was a good game for TeamNut. BTG, they tried so hard to make this no support composition work. Samuro was looking good for the most part, but in the end, it was the sneaky side-soaking backdoor strategy by TeamNut that reigned supreme.
That was strange. That was nuts. There we go. Beyond the Game, maybe a bit too far beyond the game. They were like 12 metas ahead there. Little, not working yet. Need to wait for those Chen buffs. But on the bright side, Sylvanas this season in HGC Europe and China combined, 100% win rate. Yeah.
I remember that game against the Monkeys from the Dignitas, and you're right. She's now undefeated in 2 regions. Must be a good hero.
I mean, there might have been a game I don't know about where she was also played. I will find out.
No. They played against the Monkeys, and it was actually a pretty close game as well. They almost fell, but they even had a Butcher in that lineup too, which was hilarious to see.
Yeah, mind control into the slaughter. It was amazing.
All right. Cool. I can't wait to see what these two teams will bring to the table here in game number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, for those of you just tuning in or watching for the first time today, this game has no actual meaning. It's not going to change anything. Both teams will remain locked in the places where they are. And guess what? BTG has qualified for BlizzCon dead first, whereas TeamNut, unfortunately, can't make anything happen anymore. They are dead last.
They can still do the playoffs, but I have just checked, by the way, and in all of the main 4 regions, there is a 100% win rate on Sylvanas. Hooray! Good job, Sylv.
All right.
Now let's pick Varian.
So, don't do that. So, the conclusion that we can draw from this game, Tetra, is nerf Chen, look too strong, and buff Sylvanas, right?
Yes, exactly. That's the only possible way that this could be inferred, and anyone who chooses a different inference is wrong, quite frankly, and should go back to versus AI.
MVP, man. Oh my goodness, that election or that vote is going to be so hard. Who actually becomes the MVP?
Yeah,
I would give it to
luck
Dancing
with
because
that.
he was showing us those moves on Abathur, you know, but I think it only goes to the winner.
Just quickly, I have searched Varian, and Varian has a 28% win rate. One of those was from TeamNut.
Wow. Okay.
One of
I was
his,
gonna say which region, but of course you were referring to China.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of his he has won twice total in HGC this phase, and one was by TeamNut, and the other one was from Dignitas.
All right, we're gonna. Speaking of heroes that need a little bit of buffing, a little bit of love treatment, Blizzard hooked me up with that variant buff. I would forever be grateful.
No. I want you to remember back to the Varian heyday and remember how horrible that was to play
That's
against.
when I turned
And then be
Grandmaster, yo.
very careful with your buffs. If you're gonna buff anything, buff unless you use heroics.
That is correct.
Yes, Sylvanas MVP.
Boo!
Still useful. Validation.
All right, good stuff, Malthael. I mean, this was probably, for once, this MVP vote goes to him, not because of flashy damage numbers or strong kills, but because it allowed them to split push like crazy. So congratulations to Malthael, playing a really solid Sylvanas there. And you know what? It even made this little creature here jump on my desk. I'm going to show you. Here it is.
I can't see what
Looking good. Type 1 in the chat if you guys want to see more Sylvanas. I'm pretty sure you guys are fans of that. Tetra is already typing.
This model. Okay.